Okay, hello everybody. Welcome on this new webinar dedicated to security research. So we will start with Cecilia.
Hello.
Hello, Cecilia. So maybe could you present yourself to our listener today?
Yes, so my name is Cecilia Tatou. I'm a consultant in aiming for about 7 years now, worked on proposal writing and coordination of European funded projects in security field.
Okay, thank you, Cecilia. So I am Mario Massendraibe, and I'm expert in ICT and security-related programs, covering particularly H 2020, but also other programs at national level in France, but also any collaborative project dealing with ICT and security. So what you are cooking today? Okay.
Just before starting, we want to say that you have the possibility to put questions during the written questions. You have a button on the right part of your screen, so please do it, and we will answer in the end of the of our presentation.
Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you for this information. So today we will present you first of all the structure of H 2020 in the field of security R&D. Then Cecilia will speak about what is going beyond H 2020, because there are also other programs beyond H 2020. Then we'll present the planning for this year for the open topics. And we will end the meeting at the webinar with best practices on how to succeed in Horizon 2020. Okay, so regarding the structure of H 2020, so in the field of security. So in this area, you know that security is mostly present in 5 blocks in H 2020. But before that, I would like to explain this slide. You know that Horizon 2020 is covering from basic research at low tier on the left side of the slide, okay, to the market uptake, which is on the right side of this slide. So the first remark is that most of the security opportunities are on the right side of this slide. It means that security concerns are about mature solutions, mature technologies. It means that we need to develop solutions for security application based on existing technologies, so that we can cover all the applications that need security aspect. So first point is regarding the societal challenges. You know that in H 2020 there are 3 pillars. First pillar is about excellent science. This is on the left side of our slide.
And it's where it's actually the low TRL.
Exactly.
Which means more research, less application to the market.
Correct, yeah. The second one is the pillar 2, which is dedicated to ICT project, nanotechnology project, biotechnology project, and space project. So this second part of H 2020 is actually related to technology blocks to be developed. And the final one, the pillar 3, deals with societal challenges where the secure society is present. So this is the main, let's say, the core program for security, because the SC7, dealing with societal challenges 7, is about secure societies that covering a lot of applications in the field of security. This is the first block. The second block is about the cross-cutting topics. It means, for example, for instance, Internet of Things, IoT, are included in this cross-topic solutions. But we can see also social science and humanities, and also some other aspects related to climate change or something like that related to security. This is in the second blocks in the field of cross-cutting topics. The third blocks is specifically dedicated to critical infrastructure protection. This is very important also for security, and we will detail that in the next slide, Cecilia. And then beyond the H2020, but let's say within the public-private partnership, there are two focus. First is on the Excel. Excel is a joint technology initiatives about electronics components and system. And we can also find some security concerns in this GTI. And finally, the last point will be on the cybersecurity. This is a new public-private partnership. It means that founded by private actors, but also by the European Commission, and it covers all digital securities aspects. So this is globally the picture of where we can identify security aspects in H2020.
So Marie, if I understand well, it's not very easy to find security calls in Horizon 2020, right?
Yeah, correct. So as you know, there's no specific blocks only dedicated to security. Security is everywhere in the program. So the idea is to have this picture in mind, to identify the best blocks to be where you can position your project. This is the goal. So in the next slide, we will try to develop the topics that will be open for this year. So the first one is the CIP, Critical Infrastructure Protection. The allocated budget for this year is around 20 million euros. So what you can see in this CIP, in CIP we will see all the solution to prevent, to detect, and to mitigate some attacks in the field of communication infrastructure, health services, and financial services. This is one topic that will be open for this year. Then only one topic will be open in this year for this area. Then in digital securities or cyber security, we'll have two topics for this year. First will be on advanced cyber security threats, okay? And the second one will be dedicated to digital identities. So the global budget for this digital security will be about 36 million euros. Then more specifically in the societal challenges, so the SC7 in the field of security, there are 4 blocks. The first one is dedicated to disaster and resilience. In this topic, 2 topics will be open. The first one will cover broadband communication systems, and the second one will be dedicated to chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear CBRN solutions. 24 million will be dedicated to disaster resilience. The next one will be the fight against crime and terrorism. So in this field, the most topic that will be open this year will concern the integration detection capability, including big data technology, for instance, and also tools and techniques for forensic laboratories. The third topic that will be open this year in FCT will cover human factor and technology to prevent criminal and terrorist attacks. So this is, I think, a big point on the security research this year. And then regarding border security applications. This year, the opportunity will cover risk-based screening at border security, border crossing, okay? Also surveillance and detection technologies for border security, big data and data analytics for custom risk management, and last but not least, how to improve seamless crossing of border and security at checkpoint for travelers. It means, for example, there's no more gate on the airport. What is the new solution to enabling seamless crossing checkpoint without gate and by respecting the individual right and the personal identity of persons. This, for example, something like that. The last one, the GM, is most linked to non-R&D projects. This is more networks that will be used for security planning or roadmap. So this is not, GM is not dedicated to a research project, but for networking solutions. Of course, there are also some opportunities for SME in security, dedicated SME instrument, of course, with 15 million euro. So this is globally the main open solution, open topics for this year in the field of security.
So what we see is actually we have around roughly 200 million euros budget.
Yeah.
And if we look to the next slide. Then what we want to see is, but how actually does this work? And we see that we have two types of projects. So it's innovation action project and research and innovation action. Research and innovation action, it's projects that are having higher TRL, so they are closer to the market. It's projects that have budgets that are financed up to 10 million euro, and there is a financing from European Commission of 70% of eligible costs, and on top of this there are 25% of indirect costs that are added, excluding the subcontracting part.
Sure.
There is the second type of project. There is a research and innovation action. This one has a lower TRL, which means that it's a project that is targeting developing a prototype, being around this level. It's projects that have budgets in between 3 to 5 million euros, and they are funding 100% of eligible costs, and on top of this we add 25% of indirect costs without subcontracting, of course. The difference between the two is that the lower the TRL, the more funding from European Commission it will be, because it's a matter of taking and accepting risk.
Yeah, sure. So what about the eligible countries for funding? Because we know that there are the member states, but what about the remaining world in security applications?
Okay. So of course that the EU member states countries are eligible to participate. Some were there, now we are 28. Soon it will be 27, but probably UK will still be part of countries that will participate to Horizon 2020 projects. And of course, on top of this, we can have the associated countries, which are mainly countries from geographical Europe. And on top of this, we include Iceland, Turkey, Israel, Tunisia, Georgia, and Armenia.
Wow. Okay. So next, I will speak about the Excel Joint Technology Initiative, because as you may know, there are also some security and safety aspects in this, let's say, a joint undertaking action. So in the field of electronic and component and system, this Excel GTI is one of the most important programs under the European funding for research. So Excel means Electronic Component and System for European Leadership. This is a program implementing the combined market pool supply drive strategy defined by the Electronic Leaders Group. Let's say the innovation drivers are based on applications pull and technology push. It means that the level of TRL, technology readiness level, is around 6 to 7. So very close to the market compared to the fundamental research in the field of AH 2020. This is a multi-annual program with allocated budget of about 5 billion euros for 7 years.
It's a good budget.
Yeah, until 2020. So yeah,
Okay.
5 billion euros. It's a very good budget for such kind of, even if it is for 7 years, it is a good opportunity to finance the project. And one focus in Excel is, as you can see in this slide, at the middle of the slide, safety and security. So this is completely new because in the last years, this program is mostly dedicated to embedded system, to a semiconductor process and equipment, etc. But this year, the new innovation in this program is to include safety and security for microelectronics. So what about this program? So just for information, the funding rules for Excel is a little bit different than you just mentioned, Cecilia, because Excel programs are financed by the European Commission and the participating states. So this is a combination of national funding and European grants. The deadline for the next calls or proposal will be on May of this year. This is the phase one. Phase one is, as you know, just few pages to present the project. And then the phase two, if you succeed in the phase one, the phase two, the full proposal, will be for September of this year. So we'll have time to propose something in this area. But what about security in this field?
How does it work?
Yeah, just 1 month. Yeah. So in Excel, we are dealing with safety, dependability safety. For example, absence of catastrophic consequence in the field of electronic process, for example. There's also some aspects regarding availability, so the readiness for correct service, reliability also, continuity of correct service, and maintainability. So the aspect in this, the security aspects is more, let's say, more safety than security. But this kind of solutions are very important in the field of microelectronics or embedded system process. So if some company are expert in the safety issues, in the reliability issues, in the maintainability issues, for example, using big data, using smart system, using sensors, using whatever, any solution that can be used to enhance the process in the field of microelectronic, this is the room to position your project. Then beyond Edge 2020 and Excel, Cecilia, I know that there's a lot of initiatives and a lot of aspects that can also cover security. Maybe you can explain to us now what can be the other solution for that.
So probably you are aware of the discussions that are now at the European level and the security in Europe, safety, security and defense especially. Many countries are willing to have a joint army in Europe, and of course that when we speak about this, we speak about investment, and there is a plan that a European Defence Action Plan that has started last year, and it's very interesting to know how this is positioned to Europe, to Horizon 2020. So what we know today is that in Horizon 2020, the grants are given to research for activities that have an exclusive focus on civil applications. So nevertheless, what we see in practice is that some projects, they are also used for defense purposes, but this is accepted especially when it preserves the civil focus. What does this mean? It means that Horizon 2020 does not allow today defense research focus only funding. So for this, there is the European Defence Action Plan that was launched by Commission. This year there is a budget of 25 million that is given to launch this action. Until 2020 there are 90 million euros that are expected to be put in this action. And it's a European Defence Agency that is actually handling all this. So by end of January there are information saying that they are preparing for this action. So what is happening is that for the moment they set up a dedicated unit. They have 4 people working on this subject, and the purpose is to launch the course, organize the evaluation, and signing of grant agreements. So most probably in the few months we'll have some news from IDA on this subject. But what does exactly is behind all this? What is the purpose? What is done? So we have the European Defence Fund that was accepted on the 13th of November 2016. And this fund is actually having 2 parts. So there is the research window that funds collaborative defence research projects at EU level. As I told you, there is a budget up to 90 million until 2020 that is more like a preparation of the project. And after 2020, that will be 500 million per year that will be dedicated to activities to fund collaborative defense research projects. And then there is the capability window, and this is more joint action in between the countries, because they will fund joint development of defense capabilities, meaning mainly equipment and technologies. And it will be national contributions mainly, sometimes maybe support from the EU budget. And this, of course, it will be 5 billion per year. Yes. But what is important here to know is that the will is to coordinate the activities of investment at EU level.
Fine.
And then, well, let's see, because what will this defense fund do? Well, what we see is that defense technique will be developed with this preparation action, which means identifying the subjects that are more interesting in terms of research. But when we speak about these activities, we speak in terms of defense focus activities. Nevertheless, sometimes these defense focus activities, they can also be used by civilian needs. Therefore, we have actors that can be industry, RTOs, other research actors that can, of course, be involved in these actions together with the army and I would say the typical defense institutions in Europe. So more will be to know in the few months on this, but really it's very interesting to keep an eye on what's happening now at European level.
Interesting, Cecilia. Thank you so much. So now we're in the process of planning. So the planning, you know that. So unfortunately, some deadline will be in April, mainly regarding digital securities in the field of cryptography and Internet of Things. So this is for within the ICT deadline, so by the next month. But fortunately, we'll have other deadlines this year. The first one is in May, just as I said, concerning the Excel program. So more based on safety than security, but this is also a good opportunity in May. And then the second step for Excel program will be in September, in red in this slide. And then most of the security deadline will be positioned in August. CIP, border security, the remaining cybersecurity, and all the security aspect will be mostly on August. This is the planning of the call. So we will have time to prepare good proposals, but we need to be sure that to get a very good proposal. Cecilia, what are your best practices, let's say, in this field?
So what is important to know is that, well, it's always good to have a clear concept, a methodology that is applied, and then we have to work on having the demonstration part. Impact part is more and more important also in the European projects.
We know that the success rate is too low in this area, of course, approximately less than 10% for sure in security, but globally for STH 2020. So the idea is, I think, to eliminate all 3 points. For example, we need to provide a detailed risk plan. We need to describe the project resources, the budget, the IP issues, and mainly for security aspect, because you know that there's some classified information that can be proposed in security project. So we need to explain that in details and to be sure that each partners and the value chain of the project is respected. And we have a very good consortium also for such kind of project.
So in order to do this, you should start working as fast as possible on the proposal. It's also very important that you cover all the aspects that are demanded in the call. Have also a long-term vision, and you have to demonstrate that you are beyond the state of the art of the technology present today.
I know that time is too short, but we would like to go in details on this topic, but we need also to be synthetic. So the idea is that at Temin, you know, that we can help to review the proposal and also to prepare the project. We are in the place since now 30 years, more than 30 years. So the idea is to prepare with you the proposal, of course, but beyond the proposal preparation and the project management, we are also involved in the innovation management. So we can be involved. I know that we have time to prepare the project for the August. So the idea is to make some creativity to identify new projects, new ideas in the field of security.
So well, when we speak about innovation management, actually there are many things that it's possible to do, but just think about investing lots of time in creating a new technology, and then you have to bring it to the market. We can help doing this for you, identifying the right persons, identifying the market needs and your positioning. And as Mario was saying, it's always good to be creative, to have a good innovation process, and so on.
Okay. So for today, this is the what we can propose for this webinar. I see some questions. So first one is, some people ask us if you are going to send the presentation. Of course, yes, we'll send the presentation to all. Maybe with more details, because as you know, we can not describe all the details in 30 minutes. So this is a short time, but we can send more information if requested regarding security calls.
There is another question. How about collaborating with other countries than the listed ones?
Just if you remember, just 1 minute, only few countries are considered as eligible. But of course, if, for example, if you are coming from another country beyond this list, you can participate, of course, but you cannot access to the classified information. This is the main difference. Another questions, yeah, about I think about militaries and dual-use defense and civil. You already explained, but maybe you can add some.
Well, what is interesting, the concept that is interesting is to say that what we see, for example, with NASA and so on, is that there is a very high potential technology that is developed for defense industry, and then there is a transfer to the civilian interest. So there is this transfer technology. So this can be done, for example, with the new defense action plan. But there is also the other way of doing, developing civil interest technology that can then be used in the defense industry. So what Europe wants to do is to make sure that there is this dual research, and both parties, so defense and civil, they are taking use of what can be produced in Europe.
Yeah, just I have a last question regarding the technology readiness level of usual projects in the field of security. So I will say I would say that the average, if we based on our experience, the TRL is between 5 to 7. So it means that, just as I explained at the starting of this webinar, security is mostly on the right side of the H 2020 program. It means that the project is almost mature, so your solutions need to be more than a prototype, and most of the security project is based on pilots to be validated in a real environment for specific applications. So it is why the TRL level will be between 5 and 7. So we need to develop a concrete solution for specific applications in the field of security. Okay, no more questions.
Well, I think that what we try to present you today is the full opportunities that European Commission gives you, and they are still to come in the future years. So yeah, now please take advantage of this. It's in your interest, in the interest of your organization, and there are only benefits in working in a collaborative way.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Cecilia.
Thank you, Marie.
And see you soon for another webinar.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day, everybody.